Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about the data layer. What is it, its purpose, and how you can get data to it from your website. So I'm going to go back to my handy kind of diagram here I drew up, and this really shows you how the data layer fits into the whole GTM pipeline. So as you can see, it's kind of like a middleman between your website and GTM. So the whole purpose of it is just to get data off your site into the data layer. And the data layer is kind of like a port, like trucks come from around the country, they drop it off their cargo at the port, and then the cargo gets on the ship. And so it's a perfect example of what the data layer is. And I'll show you the reason why we need the data layer. So I'm going to go to this template site I use here. And as you can see, it's just a single page site, but I've set up a data layer push event on this button. So whenever someone clicks Learn GTM, event will go called Learn GTM clicked will go ahead and be sent to the data layer. And I'll show you what that looks like in the code files. Because when you set up a data layer events, it's not going to be through GTM. You have to code this in yourself. So yeah, usually you would do this on, the reason you would code this in yourself is usually you would do it like on a button click, on a drop-down selection, like, somebody wants a variant of a product. When someone clicks to see their account page, an add to cart, a conversion, you can really trigger a data layer push event on anything, anything you'd want to track. So as you can see here, I have a data layer push event that fires when someone clicks that button, right? So to give you a better view, the event name is Learn GTM clicked. The product is GTM Learning. The price is at $9.99, and the currency code is at USD. So when I go ahead and click that button, and this event is fired, it's going to send all of this data to the data layer, right, with that event name. And then when I'm in Google Tag Manager, I can listen for that event name, Learn GTM clicked, and I can then take that data and do something else with it, right? So now I'm going to show you what happens when I click that. Oops. And I send something to the data layer. So I have some JavaScript I'm using to log my data layer events to the console, so you should see it show up right here. Okay, there we go. So you can see my custom event, Learn GTM clicked, and you can see the data I told you about that I put on the site. Did indeed show up, right? That's correct data. Everything showed up, it was sent. And as you can see, this is a built-in data layer event. So GTM has some like pre-built events like GTM link click, GTM error, like history change. So you'll see this sometimes, and whenever you see GTM dot, that means it's a pre-built event. But yeah, so that's how you would get data off of your site into the data layer. Now I also want to show you what you can do with that once you have it. So let's say you want to send some data to GA4, right? And I want to explain something that I touched on a bit earlier. I already made this tag, but I just want to show you going through it again. So for this trigger here, it is in the triggers, but it's not really like your typical other triggers, right? That actually do decide when that tag is going to fire or not fire. And this trigger is more like a listener. So it's going to be listening for like a specific event name that you put here, and then that'll fire your tag. So let's go back to, actually let's go to debugger. Let's see our event here. Okay, so our event name is Learn GTM clicked, right? So if I wanted this tag to fire whenever this event fires, I would put that, oh, see? Okay. I would put Learn GTM clicked, it's saved. And now whenever that event is pushed to the data layer, it's listening, this trigger is listening, and it'll fire your tag. You can also, cool thing is you can also refine this event. So let's say we want to only fire when an event name is called Learn GTM clicked and a product name is GTM Learning. So you can refine this and and not fire on every single event, but fire on specific events that contain specific data. So they all have the same event name, but some has, you know, a different price, some has a different product name, and you can refine it using variables, which is pretty cool. So I have one that's already set up, product equals, and then I would just put in here, GTM learning, right? And then now it only fire when that product name is GTM learning. So if it's GTM course, it's not going to fire, right? So I'll also go ahead and show you how to set that variable up. So a variable like that is very simple. It's just a data layer variable. All you do is you go to data layer variable, and then you put the key name. So the key name for the data layer variable is always going to be the first one, right? These are key and value pairs. Product, event, price, currency, right? These are all keys. Then you hit save, and then you're good to go. So yeah, the data layer is just like a port, you know. It's the middleman between the other warehouses throughout the country, right? That ship cargo there, then it gets on the ship, and the ship is GTM. So the data layer is just the layer in between the website and your and GTM to store data to then go ahead and be used in tags. So I hope you understand the GTM data layer a bit more, and thanks for watching the video.